Awesome. Okay, so I guess we have the quorum now. Hello, everyone. Welcome to our Horizen Weekly Insider number 66. Today is November the 16th, and happy Monday to you all. We're live now on Discord and YouTube. And also, as you know, this call will be available for you to check out later in our Horizen podcast. Please remember to be asking your questions on Menti. Actually, I'm starting to see some of them right now, so that's amazing. And we can answer them at the end. I'll pass the word now to Luca to give us the engineering updates.
Thank you, Angie, and I'm here with Alberto. We have a bunch of updates today. We'll start probably from the Zendu part. Welcome, Alberto.
Sure, thanks, Luca. Okay, let's start from the Zendu part, and in particular on certificate quality. So, as was already mentioned some weeks ago, we started working on the, introduction of the changes that are needed for testing the quality while receiving certificates in mainchain. So, we need, just to make a very simple example, if we have a fork in the sidechain and then we have to provide a certificate in mainchain, which will be the certificate that should be adopted. So we have a time window for accepting them, but let's say that in any case there could be some conflicting certificates, and so we have this concept of, general concept of qualities. And in the previous beta version was not managed, this quality parameter, and now we are implementing it by adding all the logic that is necessary for, deciding which certificate should win, how we manage, for example, in the same block, two certificates with different qualities, and so on. So currently, this task, currently we have identified, we made a detailed analysis on how this could be can be implemented in mainchain, what are the changes needed, and after this analysis, we ended up with a list of tasks, and so currently the guys are working on it for Python tests, integration tests, and also unit tests, and also the implementation itself in the various parts. Okay, this was about the certificate quality. Regarding that Zendu cross-chain transfer protocol lib, you remember is the library that is, including the cross-chain transfer protocol implementation in Rust that are common both to the sidechain and mainchain. So that are not meant to finish in Changelly. So this is something that is still going on, and we expect to have soon it finished. Regarding so let's switch from Zendu to the proving system, and what regards the proving system itself, the GPU optimization, the proof workshops, and so on. So as we mentioned, we are going on with some detailed analysis on possible improvements that we can do on Marlin to speed up, to have a significant speed up for it. So we already, I mentioned previously a paper that was written for it, detailed analysis, and then, but now we are working on to verify really the feasibility of some possible improvements. There was the need of doing some tests, okay, let's say coding tests. So, for example, Daniela is working on some requests from Urish to be able to have some, computation that needs to be done to understand really what if what we imagine is feasible and what would be a possible implementation for it. So this is something that is going on. Okay, regarding the GPU optimizations, we have been able to implement the MSM via GPU also for Marlin. We have been able to run some performance tests on a whole Marlin proof. So with some test circuit. We created some test circuits. We created then some benchmarks that were let me say, comparing the performances of Marlin proving performances using GPU and using CPU, just CPU. So, but this was the performance improvement was just about MSM, and so. But there is another part that can be that can have also relevant impact on performance, that is FFT, and also this FFT can be improved on GPU. So currently we are working also on that, and after having poured also that part on GPU, we will be able to have a whole Marlin proof performance comparison between GPU and CPU. And also we will normalize these values, these improvements by cost, because in reality, what you really want to have is to have a comparison between costs. So let me say, for example, a server that is using CPU has some cost, and with the same cost, another using GPU, and so then you will be able to really compare the two performances. Okay, regarding instead of proof workshops, we are going on with this proof workshop where we, let me say, see in details what we need to prove for each transaction, and so on, and what are the impacts on the SDK and on the circuits. So this is a key activity, because this is the activity that lets us identify the tasks that are, let me say, that we will work on for the next months. So it's a very key element, and also provide us ways also for let me say, looking also in detail about the design of the circuits, and how we can, for example, make them extendable. So if we need to prove something specific for some specific sidechain, and so on. So long story short, these proof workshops are going very well. And for example, this morning we had another one, and we have been able to, let me say, roughly describe how we can create the base transaction circuit that can be then extended and expanded for additional purposes. And we have identified also the impacts on the SDK side that let me say, these could that are necessary. Obviously, we will proceed also with this workshop. I mean, tomorrow morning we have another one. Okay, let's switch on the latest decentralized actors reward model. As you know, we have been working on these decentralized schemes for rewarding the actors in the sidechain, and so we wrote a paper that is not yet published, but we have been also working on a game theory analysis for it. So we want to prove that the system was able to converge the proof price to, let me say, the cost, let me say, plus some margin. This is obviously the best scenario that we can have. So these game theory analysis has been done. It's a very, let me say, complex math analysis on it, and we had a presentation for it, and currently we are going through it and understand. We are in the middle of the document, so we are going on and understanding what are the results, but so far everything seems very promising. So it seems that the scheme is providing, let me say, what we expected to have. Okay, totally different topic. Halving. We will have the halving in about a couple of weeks. So as you know, we have implemented all the unit tests, and the first code review was already being done. And today I made the last remaining code review, and so everything seems okay. And so this is approved. For what regards ND, just another thing, we have we are working on a way for increasing the reindex performance, the reindex switch performance. No, so if you run reindex on Zendi, currently is really too slow. So so we identified some interesting improvements that we can have, and so currently we're working on it, and I'm quite positive that this will provide very strong improvements. And I mean, probably it was not short, sorry, but many things we are working on.
Thank you, Alberto. And Angie will finish the updates about Zendi and Sphere by Horizen. Thank you. Back to you, Angie.
Thank you, Luca and Alberto. So following the quick announcements, as you know, Sphere by Horizen has been released, version 1.2.8 last Thursday, and it's also compatible now with Zendi 2.0.22. I'll be pasting here the link for you to check out again. And some of the new additions are the automatic back of wallet files on saving, password protection of send funds action. So now it is possible to choose a different password from the wallet password. Also, trusted setup download and verification using fetch paragrams on Windows. And the ability to edit the wallet name and saving changes again. Previously, it didn't allow you to view the seed phrase again. Plus some other fixes and graphical improvements. And last but not least, the fourth and last round of notifications to partners reminding them about upgrading to Zendi was sent on Friday. So all the major partners, exchanges, and pools have now upgraded. Please be aware that Zendi will deprecate this upcoming Wednesday, November 18. Let's continue now with Alan to give us some of the node updates.
Thank you, Angie. For the super nodes, 83% of all the nodes have been updated to the new version. For secure nodes, are at 90%. And an email was sent out earlier this morning just as a final reminder to all those node operators who have not updated yet to update before the deadline on Wednesday. Back to you.
Thank you, Alan. Let's continue with Jonathan to give us the growth updates.
Hey, everybody. Happy Monday. Hopefully you can hear me okay. And on the growth side, we're seeing really healthy, steady, and consistent email growth. Also seeing the same thing in wallet downloads. No swings up or down, just really nice and steady, which is a good place to be. In terms of what the improvements for this week, we will be helping Lucy and the marketing team update the homepage with a new design and new messaging. We're also completing work on the event page for any upcoming events that we have. And we are doing a couple of other things in terms of the Zen Faucet. So the first one is in terms of the game. So Blocks Jump, I guess you could say, have less than adequate maintenance on the part of the game developer. So we're considering to descope the game until we can fully control the user experience. So we've kind of been plagued with issues from the beginning in terms of first security and then payments. And now the node that they have set up is not working properly, and we're having more payment issues. So we're trying to fix it, obviously, but also we're considering just taking it over ourselves, and then we can control every step of the process and make sure every user has a good experience. So we'll be making a decision on that in the next week. Also, we have joined a couple of really cool startup programs that offer a lot of things for free. And so we're looking at some cost savings opportunity for Horizen that could save us potentially hundreds or even thousands of dollars a month. And it's all great because we're considered a startup. So why not take advantage of it? And that's it from my end. Gustavo, anything from you?
Nothing today. Back to you, Angie.
Thank you, guys. Thanks. Let's continue with Dean for the BD operations updates.
Hey, everybody. So before I go into BD, just a quick operations update. This Thursday, ZBF, Zen Blockchain Foundation, will be having another board meeting So preparing for that now. I sent out some emails, Angie, to you and Lucy. If you guys could let me know that the deck is ready to go, that'd be great. On the BD side, continuing with the processes that we've set up. On the integration side, nothing from Vano to report this week, but I believe Casper's does. Casper's?
Sure. Thank you, Dean. Hi, everyone. So, yes, indeed, last week we kind of continued working on improving our partnerships targeting and leads management process, and also made quite a few approaches to new projects. We reached out to more than 50 new names and were able to arrange 8 calls for this week. Last week, we also sent out 2 MOUs, and we are working to get them signed soon. And finally, I just wanted to give a shout out to Michael from Telegram for suggesting a potential sidechains partnership. Such involvement is much appreciated. That's it from me. Thanks.
Cool. Thank you, Caspers. Also, I guess if we're giving shout outs, I should say thank you to Rob Viglione, not just for running the project, but also for making an incredible referral to the BD team that hopefully will be getting a contract this week, and we'll be able to announce it next week or the week after. So thank you to Rob.
You're too nice, Dean.
Awesome. Thank you, Dean and Caspers. Let's continue with Lucy for the marketing updates.
Hello, everyone. Happy Monday. As usual, let's start with the developer community growth. We see a consistent growth. Again, we had a 0.38% increase in our early adopter program and 3.31% increase on HDE users. And all that brings our total developer growth to 2.34%. And also just a reminder to all developers out there, the complete video series of how to build a customized D app on Horizen is on YouTube, and more tutorials and developer guides for Zendoo SDK can be found on horizen.io/tutorials. And Rob recently was invited to an event hosted by Major League Hacking, and he did a presentation and an interview to a group of young developers where he covered the basics of blockchains as well as what blockchain means for the next generation developers. So we have released the presentation on our YouTube channel, and they're pretty interesting, so please check them out. And last week, we also released our latest sidechain partnership with Secoba. So Secoba is a blockchain-based system for registering, tracking, and clearing debts. So Secoba will build its own blockchain to Horizen's, will anchor its own blockchain to Horizen's public blockchain by building on top of Horizen's sidechain protocols Zendoo. So this partnership will further provide Secoba's user with the ability to get legal certainty and establish credit history and verify financial transactions in a much safer and more secure way. So Rob also talked about this partnership on the Decrypt Daily podcast last week. Anyways, you can read the full announcement on our news portal at horizen.io/news. So we are also going to have a live AMA with Secoba this Wednesday. So that would be a good opportunity to learn more about this exciting partnership. And we will release the detail of this AMA soon on social media. So this is one of our sidechain's early use cases, including the most recently announced partnership with Celsius Network. So there is still a wide range of future blockchains and applications still to be built on Horizen, thanks to the good work our BD team, Casper's and Dean, been doing. And we are the marketing team is in preparation of announcing some of these exciting partnerships in the coming weeks. So as always, don't go anywhere and stay tuned. And lastly, as many of you already know, that the Zen halving is coming soon. And again, our amazing community volunteer, Michael from Telegram, has something super exciting. Has some really exciting plans for this historical event. And we actually have Michael here on the call, and he will give us some details about all the good work that he has been doing. So, hey, Michael, you have the floor.
Thanks, Lucy. Hi, everyone. So I'm organising a community live stream event with Spencer to help celebrate the upcoming halving on December 2nd. The purpose is to help draw more attention to this historic event for the project and also use this as a means for content generation and education about the Horizen ecosystem. Community members Yunez and Domenico, who have set up horizenhalving.com, have kindly embedded our YouTube live video and included a description of the event on their website, so a big thanks to them. For those wishing to watch this live stream event, we will be directing everyone to horizenhalving.com. The event will begin 1 hour before the estimated halving. I still need to check Rob's availability, but our plan is to begin with an interview between Tatiana Moroz and Rob. This will be cross-promoted by Tatiana and will then feature on her crypto podcast, The Tatiana Show. Tatiana is heavily involved in the cryptocurrency space and is a friend and contact of Spencer. There will then be a New Year's Eve style countdown to the halving, after which we will continue streaming for another couple of hours. Spencer will MC the rest of the event, where we will feature pre-recorded interviews with Horizen team members, industry experts, and members of the Horizen community. We will also conduct some fun giveaways. This is an open invitation to anyone from the Horizen team or community. Whoever wishes to be involved, please email me at horizenclips@gmail.com. We would love to interview people and have them talk about their connection and involvement with the project and what makes Horizen special. We would also love to have the Horizen Community Council involved in some capacity. This idea was born less than a week ago, so we are trying to move quick to get everything set up and organized. At the moment, there is a lot of spaghetti being thrown at the wall, and we are seeing what sticks. We are welcome to any and all ideas. There has been a lot of talk about the negative effect this halving is going to have on the Horizen treasury in the short term. As we all know, that is getting cut in half. However, what we want this event to focus on is the positive fact that this is the system behaving exactly how it was designed, and why in the long term a deflationary structure is actually a good thing. So it is a cause for celebration. After the event, we will have a ton of video content which I can cut into bite-sized pieces to share on YouTube and Twitter. So over the next few months, we will get a lot of mileage from all of the content from this event. A big thanks to everyone who's already reached out and offered assistance, and that's all for me. So thanks for having me on today, and back to you, Angie.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Michael. Let's continue now with Rosario for Product and Engineering.
So awesome to have you on, Michael from Telegram. Thank you so much for hosting this, and I look forward to the Horizen halving party. That's going to be awesome. Love it. And Michael, the words that you had, of course, this is by design, so it shouldn't be a panic for the community or for the team. The halving was by design, and we've known it all along. All right, so Lucy, Jonathan mentioned the messaging. Just wanted to quickly remind you that we'd like to see the draft new messaging, and excited that's coming along, hopefully before the halving. Okay, so wanted to highlight that Paulo or Alexander, we have some questions on the sidechain channel, and really happy to see how active that is. So if you're a developer out there and you have any issues, join our Discord and head to the sidechain channel for some access to the team and questions as you have them. So we are starting to define, you've heard this from Alberto, we're starting to define the activities for 2021 with the goal of mapping out our path to mainnet. And our goal is to chip down the uncertainty of a very complex delivery and to a tractable delivery. And that is what we are going to be aiming for. So you've heard we have 4 different projects. We have the Zendoo to main chain modifications that will allow the SDK to communication with the SDK. We have the SDK extended model proving system and sidechain explorer. And I will say, just for clarification, beta right now is communicating with main chain, but this is going to be the extended model. So we have a fully functional beta out there. We are also be issuing an RFQ for a code audit, and the code audit will allow us to move certain pieces of code to production. So we will be splitting that into areas. So we have the Zendoo, which is the main chain piece that has the sidechain components, and of course the SDK and the proving system. So we will be splitting the RFQ, and we already have some companies that we've previously had our first audit receive proposals from them from first audit. So we will be going that for the SDK and the proving system. That will require a more specialized team, just highlighting that. For regarding moving to design partnerships and sidechain, and this is on behalf of the Horizen Labs partner and ecosystem. We continue working with BD to support tech calls, and it's glad to see that process being refined and working with the BD team. Regarding Celsius, so we are still in the requirements definition and architectural review for the Celsius sidechain. And we are prepping so we have a long-term vision and a tech spec of a full decentralized audit system. We can't go from A to Z in a single jump. So we are identifying incremental milestones to help getting us there. And we are actively discussing this with the Celsius team and moving forward together. Some of you have asked when we are going to be listed and integrated into Celsius. So I just wanted to answer those, that we are in their pipeline. So as soon as they are prepared to list us, they will be listing us. I'm not sure if Rob has additional information when he gets to this point. We also kicked off a project with one of the top integrators in the world. I won't speak a lot about this project until we have a press release out and we could properly discuss this in the open. I'm very excited. So the role of both Horizen and Horizen Labs are going to be participating in this partnership. From the Horizen perspective, Horizen is the blockchain of choice of solution, and Horizen Labs will be providing SDK training and support. The integrator will launch a sidechain and work with the customer to integrate their application onto the Horizen sidechain. This is very, very exciting. We also have a game chain application, game chain sidechain that we are working with, and we are going to be developing this gaming sidechain that we internally call Game Chain. And we are working with a partner to launch their game onto the Horizen sidechain. And both teams, so for this one, we are working in-house, and we are going to be building the sidechain in-house. So HL is going to be building that sidechain, and we have a component that is very important, which is the Sidechain Explorer, that will be very important for this solution, and also with future customers. So the Sidechain Explorer is a critical component to the entire ecosystem. You've heard about Sekoba. I'm not going to go into detail of that. And then another component is the SDK certification. So our business development team provides introduction. So they go off and introduce our Horizen SDK. And from the product perspective, we support the onboarding of these software developer companies who are training on the SDK. So we've met with a couple, and they've launched a sidechain and going through the documentation. They've added functionality to the Lambo registry or the car registry that we have. And then the final step to complete the certification is to provide them a coding challenge and then evaluate the design of how they chose to implement a solution and actually the coding itself. That is it for now. Thank you guys. Have a good week.
Great. Thank you, Rosario. Rolf, would you like to add any comments or updates?
I do. I've got a couple things. So we've always got new people coming to the project, and these folks sometimes hear about hard forks and upgrades and other things from other projects, and they may have assumptions that aren't necessarily true. So for us, it's a mandatory upgrade that's happening here. It's not a hard fork with a split into two projects. And so for people that use Zen on Exchange or with a lightweight wallet like Sphere or Coinomi, they don't need to upgrade. These upgrades are done by the people who run full nodes. And for the halving, there's been a few mentions of that, and it's a good thing because there's less new Zen created every block, every day, every month. So a lot of people see this as a good thing because it changes the supply side of the supply and demand equation. And it might cause people to evaluate whether they want to continue to operate secure supernodes, but I don't think so. So for the people that are concerned about the short-term price, even if people stop having a secure or supernode hosted, it doesn't necessarily mean that people are going to sell their Zen. So in regarding the security of the blockchain, Horizen's got plenty of nodes. There's lots of important reasons to have nodes. And one of the ones that I like from a standpoint of security is that we have nodes distributed geographically all over the world. And these nodes that are operated by people who own the hardware are the ones that tend to be distributed more. And their costs tend to be really low because there's really no incremental cost for folks that already own the hardware and have a network connection and things like that. So I think over time, based upon the economics of node numbers and payments and things like that, these geographically distributed nodes are the ones that are going to certainly be around for a long term, which is great for the security of the project. So big picture, I'm excited for the halving because it's a big milestone in cryptocurrency projects. It means we've been around for about 4 years. It means we've had continuous improvement. People care about the project, all sorts of great things. So the party as a celebration, totally a positive thing because being able to make it all the way up to a halving, that's a big deal. Thanks.
Thank you, Rolf. And now let's welcome Rob for the final part in Q&A session.
Can I just say, wow, everyone, this call has been nuts. I know we're going over, we're already 4 minutes over, and I like to talk a bit. But really, there's just a crazy buzz going on with the project right now. And if you follow our Discord and any of our community channels, you can see it firsthand. So I love it, and there's just so much really going on. As a team, and by a team here, I'm really talking about our ecosystem team. Ecosystem team includes the foundation, includes Horizen Labs, includes Pipeline, and it includes the community. We're just rocking it overall. Just the way the volume of work that you're seeing or hearing about right now is fantastic. So we're continuing to perform under what would be just intense conditions constantly. And I just love the operational tempo here and the fact that we're just not dropping the ball and continuing to power forward. Love that the community's stepping up. We mentioned them before. Michael from Telegram, Zentorio with the memes, Spencer, you guys are freaking awesome putting together this happening party. Can't wait to join that. It's gonna be a lot of fun. Guys that you don't hear from all the time, like Guan Yin out in China, building our community, slow and steady, consistent, providing all the information of what's going on in our English-speaking part of the community to the Chinese community members. That's absolutely fantastic. Menon doing the same thing with the French community, working with Madar, continuing to build tutorials, and just being super active with the community. These are all things that we could not live without, and this is not just about a team doing specific tasks like a project management task burn down. We have a lot of that for sure, and there's just a lot of technical stuff going on, a lot on the product side, a lot with partners, clients. The ecosystem is really coming alive, and it could not feel more exciting. So to reinforce the Sokoba announcement that we put out there last week, guys, this is a peer-to-peer lending application that is committing to using Zendoo, committing to using our technology And this is a great example of another crypto company that has their own private blockchain. So their solution is built on a private blockchain because they believe in keeping financial information private. But they recognize that they need the credibility and the auditability and the transparency that comes with public blockchains. And that's why they're working with us. This is just one example of what will be many partnerships like this, where you'll have private chains or private businesses doing something for their clients or their own business, and then using us as their trusted public blockchain partner. So I'm really excited for it. I'm doing an AMA with their CEO, Alex, on Wednesday. So please join. We'll put out an announcement for it. And there are many more to come. So you had a little bit of a teaser from Dean Kaspers, Rosario, about some of the big things going on, but the BD pipeline is really exploding. On the engineering side, you heard just a ton of updates from Alberto, from Luca, from Angie. There's so much going on, and it is absolutely critical. This is our core technology work, and right now we're buying down a lot of risk. Realistically, we're developing something that is extremely complex and extremely groundbreaking. It is truly innovative, and whenever you work on the tip of the innovation frontier, it's going to come with a lot of uncertainty and things that known unknowns and unknown unknowns, things that just we don't understand until we actually get out there and do it. And I think the team's doing a fantastic job with these workshops and actually understanding exactly what we're building. And the whole point of this is to lock down a final design for this final sprint to mainnet. I probably shouldn't call it a sprint in software parlance, but just the final push, going from where we are now to mainnet and locking down exactly what proving system we're going to use, what exactly we're building, and laying out that final project schedule. I can't wait. There's just a ton of really interesting stuff going on there. Now, the product team, this is the Horizen Labs product team, is ramping up big time. And Rosario went through some important things, two that I'm going to highlight here, because we have a few ongoing projects right now. The Celsius partnership is something that you guys know we're all in on, and we could not be more excited for. I listened to I joined the product team call today, and honestly, I was blown away. So I'm not just cheerleading this crowd here. These guys, in just a matter of a couple of months now, forming this Horizen Labs product, and they're now working with real clients. Some that you know about, like Celsius and Sokoba, and then others that you don't yet know about, but we've already started to work on them. So Alberto joined some of the fun last week and actually looked at what the guys were doing and proposed, I would say, an even more exciting architecture for the end goal product that we want to build with Celsius. And talking to Maurizio and Rosario and the team today, figuring out what is the interim POC deliverable that we're going to get out there, because POC we want to get out there quickly, have a quick early win that is well on the road for that final vision. So I really love Alberto's final vision for what we're trying to do, and the team is completely squared away with that interim milestone. We're going to be presenting it to Celsius this week, and hopefully we get the final buy-in, set the requirements, to start building. Now, the other thing that Rosario mentioned that I will just tease a little bit here is we had an awesome kickoff call today with a new project that you guys don't yet know about, but you will soon. We're going to start prepping the PR for it now that we're signing agreements and work has started already. It is by far our most professional project that we're working on. Not that our own team isn't professional, but we're a startup and we just dive into work. But this is working with. So let's see. It's going to be a proof of origin supply chain use case. So classic blockchain use case. It's with a client that has over $1 billion worth of wine that they track on their system currently. And we're going to be building a Horizen sidechain to actually bring their system into the blockchain world. Now, we're not just doing this with this one client. The other interesting twist here that I'm really excited about is we're partnering with one of the world's biggest systems integrators. For this to be a pilot project where their team is actually building it with our client. And the point of this is we want their blockchain team to get intimately familiar with the SDK so that they can launch sidechains for other clients. This could be their own clients, and this could be other referrals that just as our business development pipeline explodes, we don't have the internal capacity between the foundation and really labs to do a lot of this work. So we need trusted partners. And you can see the race now is on to bring on other development teams. And this one we're particularly excited about because they are one of the world's most recognized systems integrators, and they have a great blockchain team already, and getting their team familiar with RSDK and Zendoo is absolutely critical. So this is a very interesting project from just the client side itself on doing this kind of classic supply chain use case. And I love wine, and Manon, I agree with you in the chat here. We need to bring more wine into our lives at Horizen. Well, it's great that we have a client now on the lab side that actually has a massive amount of wine tracking on their system that will soon be tracked with a Horizen sidechain. So a lot going on. We will announce the details in the coming weeks as we can craft the PR and get it out there and source it to journalists. But guys, just a ton going on. You can see just the excitement going on from Discord. Is just a proxy or an indicator that there's so much going on, both behind the scenes and just out right in front of your eyes. So things are starting to get fun. I will stop here, and we can open it up to Q&A.
Awesome. Thank you, Rob. Definitely exciting times. So the first question is there a chance that the computation requirements for a sidechain to mainchain certificate can take too long for the certificate to be generated regularly by a supernode class computing machine? I will be pasting here the question.
That's a great question. Alberto, do you want to chime in on this?
Sure. Okay. In reality, the epoch proofs, and the final one, that is the certificate proof, is not a unique proof. So the certificate proof is is the result of merging many more proofs. And this process of computing the proofs and merging them has been designed to be decentralized. So what's the point? The point is that, okay, we have to prove any transaction, we have to prove any block, we have to prove the epoch, no? And then we will be able to produce a proof for the certificate. But, okay, one simple solution would have been, okay, let's have the block producer, the blocks forger, producing also the proof for the block itself. But okay, beyond the other considerations in terms of throughput and so on, but we could have said that that kind of solution would have had implicitly a big drawback, that you would have had the other set of possible forgers not doing anything for all the time they were not selected, let me say, to be a block forger. So this would have implicitly increased the transaction costs, because, I mean, or the transaction throughput, because in reality you would have had the majority of the network not doing anything but paying for a server, not doing anything. And so this would have had an impact on when they would have win the turn to be eligible to be a forger, no? And so the proof price then would have been higher. So we designed a model where, a decentralized model where we are able to have a set of actors competing to produce proofs and to parallelize this procedure. And so we are able to use the whole computation, the computational resources of the network, almost all, let me say. We will have a little bit of overlapping because we want to have also the possibility, to have, first a market, and this means overlapping. So the point is, there will be not a single actor entitled to produce a final proof, but it's a joint effort that starts from the beginning of the epoch and then at the end of the epoch. And so and the whole network will collaborate and also compete to the generation of these proofs at a fair price. And I hope that this explained why. I mean, it's not related to a single actor producing it, and how this is generated using a joint effort. Thank you.
Thank you, Alberto. So the next question is, what if the node number starts failing after the halving? What message will be sent to investors?
Well, we can deal with any extreme issues as they come for sure. But I would say the network is actually designed to be flexible to come to a certain equilibrium based on realistically kind of an implied required rate of return per node operator, and everyone has their own costs. Like Rolf said, people that run their own hardware have very little marginal cost, and so you have a whole bunch of different types of people that actually add nodes to the network, and there's this range of kind of cost that they have for running it, and then there are the returns that they get from the Zen rewards that they get. So as people on the margin start to drop off the network, the returns to those that remain on the network actually increase. And the system is designed actually to have this type of flexibility so that it always hits some sort of equilibrium. Now, I'm not talking about some sort of extreme event here, like if Zen went to zero, which would be kind of an extreme tail risk, not very realistic. But just in the normal range of outcomes, I think we're very confident that the network is going to remain very healthy. And I would agree with Rolf that I actually expect a bit of a trend towards, on net more decentralization over time.
Thank you. And this is a comment rather than a question. It says, early sidechain use cases for the partnership that have been announced is great, and Zen holders will benefit for that. But a sidechain where a normal Zen user can actively use and see, I think it's important also.
Totally agree. Yeah, so I think the ways that people can actually visualize these sidechains and see what's going on these other sidechains, absolutely key. So things like the block explorers, I think absolutely critical. So this is something that we're doing, and we want to make sure that there is visibility as much as possible into what's going on the network. And there could be for sure some clients that want to use work with Horizen Labs to do private networks, and you just see these certificates passed to the mainnet, and but I also imagine a world where there are going to be many very public and very loud sidechains that are going to be part of the network, especially those that we build over time to do very key functions like the voting system. I could say there is no single greater impact in my mind type of sidechain than a voting system, because this is how we marshal the community to actively participate in decision making and resource allocation. And this to me is something that I'm most excited about. We've been talking about it for a while. Now the buzz is starting to get more exciting because we're actually building sidechains. But we'll see. I agree with the sentiment, and we're going to make sure that we do as much as we can in a very public way.
Awesome. Well, thank you everyone for contributing with your questions, for participating, for the excitement. Definitely, this was a very special Weekly Insider. And again, thank you for attending. Remember, we do this every Monday to give you all the latest Horizen updates. We wish you all a great week. See you soon. Bye-bye.
Thanks, everyone.
Bye, guys.
Bye, everyone. Bye.
Ciao.
Thank you, everyone. Goodbye.
Bye all.
Thank you.
Bye, guys.